How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good to see you again.
It's good to be back here.
Yeah, Pathway Group offices.
Yes.
That's your normal saying.
Yes.
We got the studio set up today. Possibly our last meeting in this manner.
Probably. No, I would like to think that maybe in the future might do more of
I've
these.
got some hope.
You never know.
I've got some hope.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
But I know that you're interviewing me. I'm the one with the notes here.
Yeah. It's more of a conversation.
Yeah.
A conversation. Yes, we've got cameras here, but it is a conversation.
Yes.
18 months we've known each other. Well, a little longer than that.
No,
but
we've known each other for
Yeah.
quite a while.
18.
Online.
Online, yeah.
And obviously, we spoke a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, on the phone a couple of times about social media aspects, and we finally met up last year, obviously, and the rest is history.
It's been a journey.
Yes,
it has been a journey. Are you happy to talk about the journey? 18 months it's been.
I'm very nervous about talking about that journey. I mean, I was very nervous on the first Coffee and Natter. You obviously asked me to. Participate and pretty much run with it.
You went straight into the deep end, really.
I did. I didn't know, actually. I'll be honest. I had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Because you never attended an event before, so it's like.
Remember Karen Strunk's?
Yeah.
I attended that social media networking event.
But not our P2G.
No, you're right. I haven't attended yours, but I've attended some networking events.
You've had some networking before.
Some experience, but yes, at Fish and Chip Friday in Sutton Coldfield, the Birmingham Social Media Cafe. But this was my first Pathway to Grow experience.
Your first event was June last year?
Yeah, yes, in the summer, hot as anything.
June 2015.
Standing right there, sweating away, as some of my kind guests and delegates were telling me that it's pouring off, and Sue was our first guest.
Sue Marta, HR professional, she was there, one of my contacts at that time, getting to try and give value to our SME employers that were there.
Yes, that was. Even though that was a debut event for me, that was still memorable because I remember in the front of the audience a gentleman that you will remember, Zia. He asked quite a lot of good questions.
Zia Chowdhury.
Zia Chowdhury, our resident heckler.
From Cambridge Solicitors.
From Cambridge Solicitors. Whenever he's been here, he's always asked good questions.
Yeah.
But he never shuts up either.
Okay.
So he kind of lightened the mood a bit for me as well. So he's been a good contact, a good dad. He's been a good supporter of ours in my early days. So it was good. And also, you may remember Chris Wright.
Chris Wright, yeah.
He did our first book review, and I was a bit dismissive of the book review side of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But you got me around to it. And obviously it was your format, I went with it, I went with the agenda. Yeah. And I found that the book review section at the end of the event was probably the best part. Yeah. I found it was the best part at that time, and I was quite relieved that it was a good light moment. It was a nice way of a member of the audience to kind of have an opportunity. It was interactive, to have an opportunity to give value back to the audience, and really a platform for them. Yeah. And I don't remember what book Chris did, but he did a very good book review. It was memorable and it was funny. Yeah. And so I actually enjoyed it. Really, really good.
Yeah, yeah. I think the whole idea was to actually encourage our audience to start looking at the opportunity to maybe speak as well as an opportunity to speak rather than becoming a keynote speaker, and also at the same time encouraging the value of actually reading and learning and that aspect of it. But as you said, it's given certain people the first sort of step into possibly becoming speakers or exploring their speaking opportunities. Yep. Yeah.
I found that opportunity actually kind of woken up the audience really. Yeah. It perked their ears because as we did more and more of the events, the keynote speaking, the book reviews, a lot more of the members of the audience came forward and they volunteered their time. They came more and more interested and they really, put their names forward. They said, look, I really enjoyed the event. I may not be a guest speaker material, keynote speaker material, but I really would love a platform just for 5 minutes to talk about my favourite book or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And that really opened up doors for even for myself. It really caught the attention of the audience, and I found that quite good because quite a lot of people came forward. Okay,
I want to go back in time in terms of your history, in terms of your background to a certain extent. You and I met, and then you've joined P2G. You've become the regional director for Coffee and Natter. Mm-hmm. But what's your past you mentioned, yes, you've attended 1 or 2 networking events, social media cafe and so forth, but you weren't a prominent networker. You weren't on the scene. What's your background?
My background is finance and IT. I did most of my networking online, and that's through the professional medium of LinkedIn, really, where I kept my LinkedIn network growing and growing and growing. I went through peaks and troughs, where, like with any industry, in the tech industry that I worked in, I was constantly faced with redundancy. So every year or every 2 years, I would ramp up my LinkedIn activity. So I would gain more and more connections. I would request more and more connections with recruiters and people within the IT industry, my colleagues and peers, and I'd get more recommendations. So really, I did most of my networking online, and off the back of that,
and for work purposes, for making yourself obviously credible within the sector that you were in.
Exactly, to make yourself more credible and get more eyeballs and get my name out there, and also just learn what the recruitment process, the sales process, and networking as well. This is where how as a result of increasing my networking connections on LinkedIn, I was able to. Well, I found out about Fish and Chip Friday and Birmingham Social Media Cafe. It was through because of LinkedIn and referrals. Even though I was an employee, I was a PAYE, I still felt that there was value for me to attend a traditional networking event, which is mostly SMEs and sales and BDMs. I thought, why am I here? I'm an employee. I'm not a.
But you had a side hustle, as we call it.
As we call it, a side hustle. I thought there was value for me to attend, just to future-proof. It was really more about future-proofing and learning.
So you were a part-time. Sorry to interrupt. You were a part-time entrepreneur. You had your own little business that you were also sort of looking to.
I had my own side hustle. I was experimenting and learning a new craft to future-proof that. I was actually just extending my skill set in social media. Google advertising, online advertising, social media, Facebook, etc. So I was honing my craft there on the side as part of that side hustle. So
your situation changed, your circumstances changed in terms of work and so forth, and you came away from the job market and you started looking at exploring a full-time sort of sole trader opportunity,
solopreneur, from moving from unemployed to self-employed. But after 25 years of being a PAYE, I wanted to explore the new journey. It was scary, absolutely bricking it, and I wanted to actually see what it feels like to be on the other side of the fence. Is the grass any greener? And really wanted to experience that journey as a self-employed, as a sole trader, as a consultant.
So were you looking to raise your profile in the sort of marketplace with other SMEs in terms of obviously?
No, definitely. I knew what the Coffee and Natter or the Pathway to Grow opportunity represented. It meant for me that it was an extension of what I was already doing in terms of social media, consultancy, social media branding, and this was a fantastic opportunity for me to actually, instead of just being all online, it was another way for me to kind of learn to position myself offline in front of an audience, because I knew I had certain people skills, as my techie colleagues would tell me quite often. My peers who were quite nerdy and flip-floppy, in flip-flops, nerds and geeks. That's it, geeks. I'm trying to be respectful about them, but they would often tell me that, Cal, just leave the servers alone, stop rebooting them, just step away from the keyboard
and go and talk to people.
Go and be a stakeholder manager, or change management, problem management, stakeholder management, do whatever, but just stay away from that keyboard or from that server, or whatever. Stay out of the dark room, stay out of the data center, and go back upstairs. So eventually, I had to hand in my admin access and stay upstairs, so to speak, and become a technical project manager. So from there, my peers would tell me that you're better off, and you are better at managing people, managing the resource rather than being the resource. But I still kept my technical ability, my technical skills, because they couldn't pull the wool over my eyes. But that's where it grew, and that's where that journey grew, and it's part of that extension of working with people, managing expectations, and building relationships, really, basically. And that's what I believe I'm good at.
Yeah.
And I knew that coming into Pathway to Grow, I'd be able to practice that exponentially. Grow that skill a lot higher in building those relationships, because there's only so far you can build a relationship in a workplace, depending on what you're doing. But here, I was able to build and go into different directions all at once as well. Yeah. And it was like a 360-degree turn, global. I was building relationships everywhere, not just in Birmingham, all over the country, for myself, for the delegates that in a way I represented, as a steward, an ambassador for everyone that attended here, online and offline, with, and I'm referring to the WhatsApp groups, the Facebook groups, the Twitter, the LinkedIn groups that, that we grew. So that has been a very, very satisfying. I got a lot of satisfaction, a lot of job satisfaction from building those relationships, growing them, nurturing them. It wasn't just a case of, you meet them for the first time and that's it. I had to see them time and time again to strengthen those relationships, build those bridges, meeting that delegate A here and then bumping into them at a Chambers event or an exhibition or at the, a cricket ground or Bingley Hall or whatever, even at a social function or an awards event. I'd meet up with that delegate A again, even just to say hello. That hello meant more than, shooting the breeze about what's on the business card or what they did, what they do at work. Yeah. A good example is I was at a Chambers event, an awards event in 2015, and one of the nominees, one of the finalists, didn't win. And I bumped into that individual at the after party at the Malmaison Hotel, I think it was.
Are we talking about Kuram or somebody else?
I didn't want to say, but thanks for letting the cat out of the bag. I was talking about Kuram.
Yeah.
Saf.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks, Kuram.
Yeah.
But yes, I didn't know Kuram from Adam. I saw him on the screen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't win.
Yeah.
I sat next to his business partner on the same table, next to Hasina Lockhart, and his business partner on the right of me. Yeah. And then at the after party, I saw him around, but I didn't have time to actually sit with him, and because he was with someone. But I just said, congratulations for being nominated. Sorry you didn't win, and I just want to let him know. And after that, just left it at that. And then, a couple of days later, he reached out to me on Facebook, of all places.
Yeah.
And from there, I said, he connected with me. He found my name, connected with me, and
you must have made an impression.
I must have made an impression, and from there, I actually invited him over, because it was in November in 2015.
Yeah.
I invited him over to our debut Chutney and Chat event, and he came. And I think that was his first experience of...
Yeah, he was very reluctant. talking about Peter Kuram, I'm sure he's okay for me saying that. He's very reluctant in terms of coming to any networking event, and he came specifically because of obviously your relationship and you're reaching out to him.
Yeah.
And he's now, I would say, a convert.
He's definitely a convert. He is a convert, and we obviously we've had many discussions with...
About B2B, B2C, the
B2B,
whole networking,
B2C, and
marketplace.
He's actually a raving fan. He's won over. Yeah. He's been to our Coffee and Natters. He's been to our Chutney and Chat. Yeah. And dare I say, he's even been to the ladies' Samosa Saturday, as well, where me and him have turned up, standing outside like two school kids. Peering through the window, where we've been sent out to get the samosas from the shop round the corner or the cake. So we bumped into it because he's been supporting his colleagues at the Samosa Saturday, like the My Sisterhood, etc. So his profile has grown as well, or his company, and
he's also gone to bigger events as well. Naturally, the BGS Business Growth Show, other events with your good self as well. So
yes, he came with me down to London actually.
Yeah. So
and the same day we came back for Chutney and Chat that evening. So he's an example of how quickly and easily I'm able to build relationships, and Kuram's just one of those examples, just one.
Yeah. So he's seen the value of networking per se, and value of coming to one of these events, and obviously now, as you said, he's a raving fan of the whole sort of setup and the benefits of networking.
Yes, definitely. He definitely sees the benefits of B2C and B2B networking.
Moving the conversation forward, then, Cal. Obviously, 18 months is a considerable time in anybody's career when they're, and particularly in terms of social media technology, it's a lot of things have changed, and the pace of change is pretty rapid. How have you perceived that in terms of networking? What are the sort of fundamental changes in terms of from a business networking perspective, relationship perspective, in terms of technology and also social media?
The social media side has been quite exciting and tough as well, with so many new platforms coming and going. Where in those 18 months, personally, with someone from a technical background, I've actually enjoyed sitting back and becoming more of a consumer, enjoying technology as a consumer in front of the network rather than being a techie, because it relieves some of the pressure, really, because a lot of people would come up to me and say, can you fix this, can you do this, can you do that? And I tell them I'm now retired. I'm just a pleb, a user like you guys, so leave me alone. But with so many platforms around, like Periscope, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, and so many others, I've found that I've had to, and LinkedIn, I've had to kind of use what works for me, and just stick to it, rather than just having to play with all platforms just because they're there. Yeah. Some people choose their preferred weapon of choice, social media platform of choice. I know that your good self, you're a lot more Snapchat, not necessarily savvy. You prefer Snapchat. Not saying that you're good at it.
I wouldn't say I'm good at it.
No.
I'm just still learning, but I've embraced it.
You've embraced it. The point is you've embraced it. It's not about how good or bad you are. The fact is that you're endeavouring. You've embraced it. You've embraced the challenge. Whereas I've had a love-hate relationship with, say, Twitter. I hated it before. I've re-embraced it again, and I'm exploring going back to Twitter because of how some of the so-called gurus out there that are benefiting from it, and people that I've met, like the Tim Hughes out there. So again, it's like Renaissance. It's just I prefer Facebook. Adds a kind of a bridging dimension, because at the end of the people are only the CEOs out there, the gatekeepers, the decision makers. They're human at the end of the day, and if you can't get them through LinkedIn, you can build relationships through Facebook and Twitter. Twitter is a fantastic way of just reaching out to them, just kind of like knocking on their door with a tag. It's a lovely way of really, really quick way of engaging with someone you've never met. And that's what I feel is one of the benefits of social selling or improving your social capital.
But correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Facebook Live was around 18 months ago when we started. Now everybody seems to be looking at Facebook Live, either sort of conversations that they're recording or events that they just sort of seems to be broadcasting. So how has that evolved in terms of the P2G family and from our perspective, and generally your thoughts in terms of?
Facebook Live has been a fantastic way of opening up another visual medium for us as a platform, as a network community, where we've been able to, the team here, including myself and your good self, almost like a paparazzi type roving reporter, right there, real time,
like a fly on the wall.
This is what we're doing, and this is the value that we're getting from said guest speaker or keynote speaker or book review, or just the reaction from the member of the public, from the audience. And it's been really, really good in kind of like really opening eyes to people who've not been able to attend, who can't attend or have missed out just for whatever reason, so they still feel part of it. And in a way they're able to contribute as well by asking a question or just saying hello, just by saying hello, during the Facebook Live. And we've obviously done quite a few where I've been able to expand on that Facebook Live technology of using particular tools in my arsenal to kind of capture it there and then and share it out onto various groups, which has kind of like added value. And Facebook Live is actually obviously, don't need to tell you, but it's been a fantastic way of expanding our reach, really, in real time.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned briefly in terms of the WhatsApp group, the LinkedIn group, and so forth. We've got all of these forums, and people, choose the one that suits them better or they're more comfortable with. What would you encourage somebody that's at this point in time still sort of in the infancy of looking at social media? What's the first sort of step for them? What would you say is the first move if they're completely unaware or haven't really explored the whole social media?
I would ask them to try it for themselves. Do not take.
Is there a particular one that you would?
Well, this is my point here. I prefer. I have preferences. You have preferences. I like a particular platform more than others. And this is where I'm trying to be respectful here. Where, for instance, I'm not very, WhatsApp savvy. It's just a preference. I just choose not to hang around in the WhatsApp groups. But however, I would not dismiss it as a platform. I cannot go to any member of my delegate and say, don't go into WhatsApp because I don't. I'd be wrong. I have to give them all the choices. It's not for me.
Would you encourage that as the first step then?
My first step is to give them all the choice and then let them choose and let them try it. I'd say try it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. If you like it, then run with it. Some people like Twitter, some people don't. So I'd say, look, here's a WhatsApp group. Just try it. There's no harm. Twitter, no harm. Facebook, no harm. Try it for yourself.
There's no harm in dropping one from
Exactly. I mean, I prefer Facebook. I prefer LinkedIn. Not so much on WhatsApp. However, I cannot discount it. Cannot dismiss it. I have to say that I do see the benefits. I see others gaining benefit out of it. So I have to mention it to my network in front of me and say, look, you cannot discount WhatsApp. Chutney and chat and WhatsApp, they go hand in hand like salt and pepper. So you cannot dismiss WhatsApp. Chutney and chat is synonymous with WhatsApp. So I tell anyone that I meet, if you want, real-time engagement, live engagement, from 7:30 to 11, whenever it is, I guarantee you. Some people have said, out there here in the audience, that guarantee if you drop something in there, I need a plumber, car insurance, whatever it is, or
the community will come back.
Yeah, the community will come back, even if it's a non-business related or non-domestic related. Even if you just say hello, someone will say hello back. As long as you abide by the rules. And people actually do drop in and out. They say, look, I'm taking a break. And people value people's opinion, and they come back. And that's why I say, do not take my word for it. Try it for yourself. A trial. Any platform.
Yeah, I mean, talking about communities, obviously we're a networking forum. There's other networking forums out there. Some of them have been going for a long, long time. How do you compare the P2G forums as opposed to, say, some of the others out there? And how are we different? And how do you feel? Where's our sort of niche? And if there's a USP?
There's I don't want to use the word competitor. That's not really fair because there are a lot of people in the similar space, industry, networking platforms, and I found that the more we meet them, or the more I've met them, the more collaborative and the more friendly they get, and those are the ones that I like working with. Met a lot of wonderful people from the Foreign Network.
So a lot of strategic alliances, a lot of partnerships, so we can.
A lot of stratels there. With the BNIs, a lot of people from former BNI positions have come in here and enjoying the experience and enjoying networking. They've said that you can't come here just once. You've got to come here again and again and again to get value, to build those relationships.
So we're different from them.
We're different in terms of there's a lot more of a community. I don't want to use the word tribe, but there's a community feel, and people tend to have your back a lot more, and the community extended into other avenues, and there's a lot of relationship building there, a lot of attraction marketing within that community, within Pathway to Grow, and that's what I found. That the community is growing and growing. Expanding swelling quite fast, and the name has kind of reached out to other organisations like the chambers, Tag, Sterling, Four End, BNI, other breakfast clubs. And I've seen people come to our events to communicate their events to before they would be quite nervous about that, but I'd say, look, if you want to promote your event, that's fine. You do it on Facebook. We've allowed people to come to the stage and say, look, we're holding an event, come to our event, like the Business Growth Show. Those kind of alliances we've had. So it's been a great journey. So we've never shied away from allowing people to do that. It creates a bigger community for all of us. We're all here for the same purpose.
Yeah. I'd like to talk a little bit about, obviously you've been in the role for, as I said, as we repeatedly say, 18 months now. Yeah. A little bit about pros and cons for somebody being in that role of a regional director for a networking event. What are the benefits, if there are any benefits that you could talk about from your personal perspective, and also generally in terms
as a director or
as a director,
or as a networker?
Yeah, as a director. As a director, your role.
As a director, the pros quite a lot of pros. Sorry, where the pro can also be a con. It depends on half glass full or empty. It depends on your point of view. I get recognised a lot at other events. I get funny looks. Yeah. It depends who's looking at me, I guess, really. I get quite uncomfortable. But I get used to it. Eventually I get used to it. That they recognise you. It just depends. I've had some shady characters look at me quite, and have I done something wrong? I said, no, it's all down to they've seen my face on their feed or some networking feed on social media. And where others have actually come up to me and said, you're doing great work. I really enjoy what you do, or what Pathway to Grow do. These are complete strangers that are coming up to me. So that's a pro.
Does it help in terms of business, in terms of your own business?
It helps with raising my profile and what I offer in terms of social media consultancy, the online advertising, the offline print as well, which just quickly mention, because of being a regional director and networker, it's opened doors for me in terms of the print side of it. I write for two papers, and that in itself is for me that's been a pro. The cons there, as a director, where people's expectations are skewed, where they want instant gratification, where you probably witnessed one day we were in the office brainstorming, and I'd get a phone call from, I won't mention his name, but where he was quite adamant and annoyed. He'd been to a couple of our events, or at least one event that I remember, and he's been in the WhatsApp group in and out, and he just phoned me up and asked me, do you know anyone that would be interested in my services? I said, look, I appreciate you've been in the WhatsApp group. You need to build those relationships, and you need to maybe adjust your prices. You've got competitors in there, right, who are moving. They're moving with the supply and demand.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. This is the work where no.
I said don't mention any names, but he was
not mentioning any names, but the workwear industry. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. SAF doesn't do something.
No. But you are, so people's expectation, the fact that you're there at the beck and call.
Exactly.
You know what? Link me into this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm far too nice. According to SAF, I'm far too nice. I'm far too easy on a certain individual, too diplomatic. But yes, this gentleman who annoyed me, because he kept on saying, look, I want you to introduce me to somebody now. So look, I'm not Yellow Pages, I'm not Thompson Directory or Brown Pages. Get lost. You're here to build relationships. Build a relationship with me. Get to know me.
Yeah, there's a process, isn't it?
It's a process. And he was just, he wanted instant gratification. He wanted me to just give him a customer or a potential customer. I said, you're too expensive. You're a bit abrasive. You're a bit harsh.
So it's people's expectation, the fact that you're there at their beck and call, the fact that they can give you a call, expect something from you.
They wanted something in return quite quickly. And
any other negatives?
Any other negatives?
Not the fact that I'm looking for negatives, but is it?
Well, I've got a list.
You've got a list here. Yeah.
I've got a list. Okay. Yes.
But would you encourage Cal, I mean, you've been in this role now for 18 months, we keep saying, but, would you encourage somebody that's looking to grow their business to consider this? It is a responsibility, but at the same time...
It's a huge responsibility. I mean, I keep coming back to this particular individual, and I use him as a shining example, and the reason I use him, and I wanted to actually say it again, is that there are individuals, because we're not all about just networking, you forget. We've forgotten very quickly that it's about personal development as well. It's about learning. It's about investing. Learning it. This is why, network, learn and grow.
Yeah.
We are here.
Learn from each other.
Learn from each other. And I've seen people here, I've met people who don't have a business, but who want to get into business.
Yeah.
How fantastic is that? That a networker has come here, he's not here to buy, not here to sell, or he or she's here to learn about possibly, how to become a future entrepreneur. Now that's fantastic in itself. But what I was saying to earlier, and I keep mentioning now and then this gentleman here, Saj Hussain, Property Saj. He was one of the first delegates I met, and I spoke to him on the phone within weeks. Lovely, humble man. I didn't realise how wealthy he is in what he does, how well he does his business, joint venture property. And I'm wondering, why would someone like that, who's into wealth creation, come to our events? Because he invests in himself. Yeah. He learns.
His own self-development.
Self-development, and he comes here. This are what he might consider a boutique networking event. And back then he was running his own property investment networks in Coventry, and I believe now he's running them in Birmingham. But why would someone like that? Why would Saj Hussain continually come to our events? Coffee and Natter, Chutney and Chat, sends his wife over to Samosa Saturday, because again, he invests in himself. He sees the value in it. He constantly invests in himself, and he does build relationships over a long time, over a lengthy period. Yes, maybe he's...
That's the key word, is the relationship.
Relationship building. He's built a very strong relationship with me. He's even bought off me. I've given him a lot of social media consultancy, and I continue to do so. He still finds a lot of value in coming here. And what relationship building, back to that, he's built a lot of long-term relationships where eventually they've converted. He's been patient, and he continues to come here. And I've given him potential opportunities. I've introduced him to lovely Shana Owen and his team, her team from Brightlet. People like that. Speaking engagements. So why would Saj Hussain come here? Why would someone like Saj Hussain come here? We want a lot of Saj Hussains, a lot of wealthy people, because they give back a lot as well. Saj himself has given back a lot within the audience. So I keep coming back to him because he's a shining example of how much people give back and how much he shares his knowledge, his expertise. His keynote speech was about the blueprint to success. Fantastic event. He's done 2 book reviews, The Slight Edge, and he did it here, and he also did it in London. So it's about, for me, with Saj Hussain, it's about building those long-term relationships.
Okay. So obviously it's coming to an end. Your last event was November.
Yes.
It's you're finishing off, and then obviously New Year, new opportunity.
Yep.
Do you want to talk a little bit about it in terms of what's Cal's 2017 looking like?
2017. Without saying, I don't want to give too much away, but again, what I'll be doing in the new year, I'm really, if it wasn't for Pathway to Grow, is what I want to say as well, is that if it wasn't for Coffee and Natter, Chutney and Chat, Samosa Saturday, peer meetup, and attending all the other events with your good self, like the Pakistani Achievement Awards, the Pakistani Expo, the Business Growth Show, the World Skills, the event in NEC, it's opened new doors for me. And in a similar vein, I'll be working with another team in the new year to, not necessarily in networking, but again, in personal development. And I'm really excited in working with that team in the new year to expand my own horizons in personal development and investing in myself, working with a wonderful mentor who's going to be a new experience for me. And I'm really, really excited. If it wasn't for Pathway to Grow, I wouldn't have been able to get this opportunity by chance. And I'm really, really pleased. I'm really grateful for everything that's happened to me here up to now, up to this point. In the last 18 months has been a roller coaster ride. I'm really, really, humbled, and I've enjoyed the ups and downs. The experience has been fantastic. Working with Abid, Zenat, Nadia, Mike, Lynn, and I found Brad, Mac, Sean, the wonderful Sean, who's all on his own in London. Really fantastic guy, and he's supported. He's even come here as well to support us, support me at one of my Coffee and Natters, and he's been to the Asian Apprenticeship Awards. Again, Qasim Chowdhury as well, Qasim Majid, who's supported me at nearly all of my events, and supported Abid at Chutney and Chat. Fantastic guys out there, and I just want to say thank you to everyone. If it wasn't for all the delegates around the country, up and down the country, I wouldn't have been able to get where I am now, and probably won't be able to get to where I'm going in my new role in the new year. Yeah.
The main thing I want to ask Khalid is, are you going to stay in touch?
Well, I was going to ask. I was going to ask offline that I want free tickets to all your future events. I want, not a get out of jail free card. I want a hall pass to every single Chutney, Coffee and Natter, all your premium events,
like a
lifetime membership.
Yes,
which I will always be an ambassador. Yeah. So of course I'm going to be in touch. I mean, there's always opportunities. Right now, I'm already feeling the effect, or maybe you haven't felt it yet, but I've already felt the effect of working. I haven't started working with the team yet, but already they've started to filter opportunities to you or to Pathway Group. They've thought of it, said, Cal, what do you think? Should we send this over, this PR opportunity or this education opportunity? I said, yeah, by all means. Yeah. So I'm already feeling.
So it just extends the sort of networking opportunity.
It extends it, absolutely, because there's a positive vibe there, and it's a way of me keeping in touch or keeping my finger on the pulse, or the Coffee and Natter pulse. So yes, of course, I'm looking forward to the next Asian Apprenticeship Awards. Hint, hint. Free ticket. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next event. Hopefully it'll be bigger and better, and I'll only go if Shazi is there.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
I don't care about the comedy acts.
Yeah. Well, we could potentially book you. Either for the comedy or the keynote speaking.
Well, that's true. Qasim Chowdhury wanted actually to do a networking comedy duo. He was exploring that idea with me, good cop, good networker, bad networker, but no, definitely we'll be keeping in touch, and I'm looking forward to come to your future Chutney and Chat events, whether it's here or somewhere else. That I've been trying to build relationships with a lot of other networkers to expand the network, and I continue to do so. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to helping you build those, continue building those relationships from a distance. From my other chair, and I'm, it's all part of the network. I'm not gone. I'm still here, and I'm looking forward to, watching Pathway to grow from the outside rather from the inside. Yeah,
thank you, for Cal, for that. Much appreciated. I just wanted to share something with you as well, if I may. As you know, I've been doing Pathway to Grow now for a number of years. Since originally the concept was 2012, and I've changed it a number of times. But since 2012, hotels and sort of these professionals in terms of trying to get the networking concept out there, I rebranded and changed that. Back in early January 2015 to Coffee and Natter. Yeah. We moved into these offices in December 2014, and I thought I'll use this space. Let's change the format a little bit, and let's see whether we can move P2G, Pathway to Grow, to a different level in terms of networking and opportunities. So I did the first few myself in terms of the whole Coffee and Natter.
Yeah, I remember, because that caught my eye.
Yeah, I to a certain extent I started off really calling friends and family. So I went to my phone, through my phone book, invited certain amount of people, did what I could. Yes, we used Eventbrite, we used Meetup, we used Facebook to a certain extent, but it was predominantly sort of my own extended circle as much as I can. And you were supportive in terms of social media, the odd like, the comment, the sort of share, you caught my attraction, and my eye in terms of, this is somebody that hasn't come to an event, but is promoting me and sort of supporting me, endorsing me on social media. So obviously I was doing what little I could, but as soon as we met, that connection was there. I spoke to you about the opportunity. Even though at that stage I would say you probably didn't know what you were getting yourself into completely, but you embraced it. That was courage. That was obviously trust on me in terms of, this is something that I'm willing to support. But you took a chance, you took a risk, and I did the same as well in terms of yourself with that sort of brief meeting and connection that we had. And since you came on board with your personality, your charm, your charisma, because obviously, we complement each other, we're different, but we complement each other to a certain extent. You were able to catapult what we had. It's still a boutique networking event to certain people, because we're not completely national yet, even though we have ambitions and aspirations.
We have absolutely.
Yeah, we have aspirations and ambitions.
Massive goals, as they say.
Yeah, massive sort of ambition in terms of actually moving down on a big, hairy aspirational goals, or whatever they call it, BARG or whatever. I can't remember now exactly what they call it, but we've got our own sort of vision in terms of what we're looking to do. But you were able to catapult, in terms of what I was doing to sort of the next level. And as a result of that, got more social media traction, more comments from people, and grew it to the sort of stage that it is. Obviously, as a result of the foundation with Coffee and Natter, then we were able to bring Chutney and Chat, we were able to bring Sauce on Saturday. Then I had the courage then to move on with Pay Meetup. So it started from there for me in terms of actually moving. So I wanted to thank you for that.
No,
I just wanted to put that on record in terms of, obviously, you're a key part of my own personal development, my own sort of personal journey as well. So I wanted to thank you. Thank you for your time today. Anything else that you want to say before I shake your hands and wish you well?
I want to thank you again for the opportunity that you gave me. I've met a lot of, as I've said, I continue to say so, I've met a lot of wonderful people at quite a few events, and even caught up with people that I haven't met for years, that because of the events, that I've reignited or re-established relationships, and also met people. I've not maintained relationships with them, but I've met people that I knew from my childhood. That they have moved on to bigger and better things, like the Scottish MP at the London event, who I met last year. Me and her grew up, and my father and her father were pillars of our community. And it was sad to hear certain stories, but it was good to catch up with her. But little things like that, those to me they're not milestones, but they're good memories that I have, fond memories of the networking. That's really shaken. Yes. And Chaudhry Rashid, he was very, very inspirational. I need to mention him because he was fantastic. Just having that 2 minute. I've met him quite a few times through my networking travels, but when he came that day, man, we caught him on camera as well. Very, very inspirational. I still remember that day, the words that he said. No matter what you are, where you're from, just keep striving, keep you'll achieve wonders. But once again, it wouldn't be for Pathway to Grow. It wouldn't be for this wonderful opportunity that you've given me, this platform. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you and this platform, and I wouldn't be going to where I'm going now if it wasn't for this platform. So again, I wanted to thank you for that. Thank you so much, Khalid. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for all your support as well. Thank you. Thank you.